Alright, time to make that loadout I've been planning for a bit. Sucks I had to delay it because they took the stun gun out the game, but Embark said it would be back in Season 6. Huh, so I guess that was a fucking lie? Sorry, Batman. Looks like you gotta wait a while longer. But you know what? I think I know somebody else who would be a perfect fit for the arena. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 19 of Contestant Loadouts, the series where I give you fun loadouts to try in the finals. Keep in mind, these loadouts aren't designed to be meta so much as they are to be fun. So save your comments on how bad this loadout is, cause I really don't care. Today's loadout was supposed to be a Batman-inspired loadout, but Embark is taking their sweet time reworking the stun gun. But that's fine cause there's another light-class loadout idea I had that perfectly fits the finals. Pathfinder from Apex Legends, a game that I put a lot of time into back in 2021. You can hear more about that in my Apex Legends section of this video. For those of you who don't know, Apex Legends is a first-person shooter set in a game show arena where squads of 3 fight to be the last one standing and win all of the glory. Wait a second, so needless to say, I thought an Apex Legends character would be a perfect fit for the finals. And while there's no shortage of Apex heroes you can base a loadout on, I picked Pathfinder because he was one of my favorite Legends back when Apex was my go-to first-person shooter. But for those of you wondering who my main in Apex is, it's Loba. And I think we all know why.
How about that prick's face when he saw the gat?
So how do we play Pathfinder in the finals? What does our loadout consist of? And what's the closest we can look to Pathfinder? Let's start creating our contestant to find out. For starters, our specialization is the grappling hook, which just so happens to be the same ability Pathfinder has in Apex. Our weapon is the LH1. There's a lot of weapons in Apex that play similar to weapons in the finals, but I picked the LH1 because it looks like the G7 Scout. This was my favorite weapon to use with Pathfinder for reasons we'll talk about soon. And the G7 Scout is basically a futuristic M14, which is the weapon that the LH1 is based on. Pick whatever skin you want. Apex has a lot of skins for the G7 Scout, so the look of the rifle can vary. Our 3 gadgets are based on the grenades you can use in Apex Legends: the frag grenades, arc star, and thermite grenade. The 3 counterparts in the finals being the frag grenade, the glitch grenade, and the pyro grenade. Frag grenades are basically the same in both games, and if you're mad that this is like the 4th loadout in a row with frag grenades, blame Embark for delaying the Batman loadout by taking the stun gun out the game. Glitch grenades don't do damage like the arc stars, but they do give you a glitched effect that stops you from using gadgets and specializations, kind of like the arc star. And the pyro grenade lights an area on fire just like the thermite grenades. You know, if Embark doesn't want to add a Molotov cocktail skin for the pyro grenade, maybe they can add a thermite grenade skin for now. Moving on to the fashion, you have a couple options. One, you can use the Gundam looking skin in the finals to mimic the Gundam skin Pathfinder got in that one event, or you can make something from scratch. Personally, I made an outfit from scratch trying to mimic the color scheme of Pathfinder's original skin. To do this, we'll be using the anti-splatter shield face mask for the yellow eye look, the blue tactical comms helmet, the Crisis Clipper coat as that little bag on the front kind of reminds me of the TV on Pathfinder's chest, the Spotlighter pants, the Crisis Clipper gloves, point shoes, and a metallic coating body paint to round out that robotic look. But much like the gun skins, Pathfinder has a lot of different character skins, so feel free to experiment, especially since all of this costed me a decent amount of multi-bucks. So now that we have our trusty G7 Scout, our grapple hook, and enough grenades to make the bald Wraith mains leave the lobby, let's start learning how to play Pathfinder in the finals. The Pathfinder loadout is all about 2 things: reaching the high ground, then getting kills with your rifle, and using grenades to weaken or maybe even kill some more enemies. Just make sure you're doing all of this somewhat near the objective so it actually helps you win the match. There's a pretty simple combat loop to this. Use your grapple to get to whatever the highest ground in the map is, then shoot your enemies with your rifle. Use your grenades if a good opportunity presents itself, or if you want, just spam them like a madman. Either way, once you get discovered and bullets start flying your way, it's time to boogie. If you've played Pathfinder in Apex Legends, the whole reach the high ground and shoot enemy things probably sounds familiar. Something else in the finals that reminds me of Apex is the matchmaking. I play a lot of solo queue, and some of these matches I end up in give me flashbacks with how lopsided the matchmaking can be. You might notice that the gameplay in this video hasn't been anything to write home about, and that's because my aim was a bit off the day I recorded gameplay for this video, and to make matters worse, the people I was being matched against were some of the most bitchless, unemployed, no grass touching, gamer neck having players whose lives outside of the finals are meaningless, and if any of them happen to be watching, you should kill your. Meanwhile, my teammates had the skill set of an infant fresh out of the womb. Oh cool, my 4 teammates are all in the same club. Surely, they'll be completely coordinated. Oh, the enemy team has a 4-stack? Well, maybe they won't be that good like the 4-stack I had on my team last match. I think I was just unlucky that day because for all of the flaws the finals has, the matchmaking usually isn't this bad. But when it's bad, it's bad. Still better than the matchmaking in Apex Legends though. The finals matchmaking can struggle because of a smaller player base, but Apex Legends matchmaking is genuinely designed to gaslight and manipulate you. Anyways, sorry about that mini rant there. Hopefully Embark implements some more noob-friendly environments in the future, because I think the matchmaking can drive a lot of new players away if it gets bad enough. And that's a real shame because if you ask me, the finals deserves to have more players than Apex does these days. Anyways, back to our Apex training. The first thing we'll need to get down is properly using the grapple hook. There's not too much to this though, as the grapple hook has a short cooldown, so you don't have to overanalyze when you use it. Personally, I like to use it a few different ways. 1. Use it to get to a nice sniping spot. 2. Use it as a way to bamboozle your enemy by letting them chase you off of a sniping spot, then grappling back up to that same spot while they just sit helplessly on the ground, watching you go back up. And 3. Use it to escape to high ground when you get shot. You'll be hard to track while you're flying, and a lot of enemies won't be able to instantly follow you unless they also have a grapple hook. Moving on to Reddit's worst enemy, also known as the LH1. Unfortunately, I can't give you too much advice on this. 1, because I'm pretty ass with this rifle, and 2, the LH1 gets nerfed or buffed or some other type of change like every 3 weeks. Every time I learn how to properly use this rifle, someone on Reddit makes a post about how overpowered the light class is, and most of the time, they're blaming the LH1. And then Embark nerfs the rifle, and everyone complains it sucks, so they buff it again. You get the point. The best advice I can give with this rifle is something that's been consistent since Season 1. Pace your shots. This gun rewards good accuracy with big damage, but only if you get the rhythm of the shots down. If you go in with a crazy trigger finger, you're gonna miss half of your shots like me, and if you go in shooting too slow, the enemy will either kill you or get away before you do any meaningful damage. So spend some time finding whatever your shot pacing sweet spot is and try to stick to that. Then we have our grenades. I've given frag grenade advice like a million times, so fuck it, I'm just gonna copy paste the audio from the Master Chief video. Frag grenades are pretty simple. If you've seen more than one video in this series, you know my advice is almost always to just throw them at bunched up enemies or enemies hiding in corners. Why thank you, past version of myself. The glitch grenade shuts down enemy abilities and specializations, and you get 2 of them. At least until Reddit complains that they're too overpowered or something. But I do like to save at least 1 grenade in case I see a dome shield or mesh shield get thrown up, since this grenade can destroy both of those gadgets on impact. Then there's the pyro grenade, which has some good area denial, which makes it useful for stopping people who chase you, or at least giving them a light tickle while they do. This leads me to the last bit of the combat loop, which is evasion. This is pretty simple. Much like the bald Wraith main in Apex, the second you take a lick of damage, leave the game. Nah, I'm just kidding. If you're on the high ground, then you can jump off and swing to another building with your grapple hook. If you're indoors, then you can still hook the roof and travel horizontally, but this requires a bit of control to make sure you don't just faceplant into the wall and get shot in the back. I mentioned this earlier, but if you want to deter enemies from following you, then throw a pyro grenade or a frag grenade behind yourself. Once you start regenerating your health, get back up to some high ground and get back to shooting. Just don't go back to the exact same spot you were at. And there you have the Pathfinder combat loop. Pretty simple, but pretty fun. I do have a couple more tips for you though. 1. If you play Power Shift, you're gonna end up running into a lot of APS. If you do, the LH1 is great for destroying them, as I believe you can destroy an APS with only 2 shots. 2. Another thing you'll see a lot of in Power Shift, and really every game mode, is barricades. People like to hide behind these, so if you notice someone hiding behind one, throw a pyro grenade straight onto it, as the fires can damage enemies through the shield. And with that, you're ready to hop into the arena and become the champion. You know, all this Apex talk is making me miss Apex Legends, so I think I might hop back into Apex and show everyone in that game who the real Apex Predator is. But until next time, thank you guys for watching and have a good one.